Hey folks, today I'm going to share some mentoring advice that I gave a client last week. This client is interested in becoming a plant manager, and he's fairly early in his career, 32 years old, and is an engineer and is working as a maintenance manager. And I thought I would make this example a little generic to help the greater good here and go through some of the questions and advice that I gave this person as a mentee. You folks know that I do perform or offer mentoring. I offer coaching and I offer consulting. My consulting is really on reliability and maintenance, but I'll mentor you on becoming a plant manager, becoming a maintenance manager, and do offer coaching on financial independence, retiring early. Those are some of the things I do. If you want to contact me, there's links below and links to other documents that should help you in your career, like how to interview and how to create an outstanding resume. So, hey, here's the candidate. He's 32 years old, a maintenance manager. He's looking to become a plant manager. He's currently doesn't find his position very challenging. He's doing great, getting some great results. He's got a team of three people, just three direct reports. And he's been doing that for 2 years. What's my advice for him? And I said, at 32 years old, you got to be learning and growing skill sets. You got to be learning at that time. It's time to be investing in yourself and having the organization and individuals pull you along with life lessons and experience, whether it's in lean, whether it's in reliability, whether it's in managing people and how to build a team and how to inspire people. All those things need to be happening. You can't just be plugging away, putting in time. And that's what this candidate is doing. More time in your role of a job you've already mastered doesn't make the resume looking any better. I mean, it just looks exactly the same. Instead of a 2, you got a 3 or 4 or 5. You're still managing just 3 people and getting the same results. So that was part of the advice I gave him. And this person has actually interviewed for other jobs, and every time he was told that 2 years is just not enough experience. Now, this could be blunt advice for you, but hey, that's what you get from me. Is if they're telling you it's years of service or years in a role, you just need more time. That's their polite way of avoiding conflict. You're missing something because the right company will look past that. They'll look at your skill set, your ability to get things done, how you can interact with other people, and they'll look past that time of service as a leader. It's very common for plant managers to say, hey, 10 years in role. But then you talk to individuals that are in a role or have leadership experience and they're looking for 10 years. You commonly will find people in those roles that have been 3, 4, 5, 7. So why not 10? Well, that gives them an easy excuse to turn you down. It's, so hey, you weren't the successful candidate. Oh, it's because you only had 2 years. Sorry, you were good, but just had 2 years. That's an excuse, folks. You need to dig deeper than that. I can help you with that. Hopefully that makes sense. Just an excuse. They're trying to avoid conflict. They don't want to get into an argument over a phone or live with you on why. And this is an easy one. The other candidate had 4 years experience. If you were a top candidate, they wouldn't care. Okay? Finding good leaders is a rare commodity, especially in maintenance. There's got to be maintenance opportunities for this individual where he can go from 3 direct reports to 4 to 5 to 10. Maintenance leaders are extremely rare. If you're willing to move, I promise you the jobs are out there. The second topic we talked about is it seems like maintenance is undervalued in industry. All roads to the plant manager lead through production. Do you agree with that? Actually, I do. It is very rare for somebody with only maintenance experience to become a plant manager. A plant manager has to wear so many hats, maintenance, production, quality, community, if you have a union, uh, sales, marketing, there's just so many things that are involved in being a plant manager one mastered strength doesn't mean you'll be successful. Now, and plant managers can be successful without a great maintenance experience, as long as you hire a great maintenance manager and lean on them. But, keep in mind, production pays the bills. Maintenance needs to be a partner with them. But be very clear that you don't need to do maintenance on equipment if you're not running it, not making production. Maintenance has a very special place in my heart, but production pays the bills, and that's what most people know, especially top management when they're looking at somebody to put in a plant manager role. Number one thing they're looking for is, can they put out the volume? Can they put out the quality? Can they, sustain and grow, organically grow, and maybe acquisition grow? And maintenance is great. And a lot of the behaviors that make you great in maintenance will make you great in production, but you need to check that box. It needs to show up on your resume. So unfair, but hey, just reality. If you're this candidate, I said, hey, if it were me, I'd look for trying to get 10, 15, 20 direct reports in a production role would be my next step, ideally, to get. This person is also saying, hey, other than, it may be easier for me to get a maintenance role with more people. Does that sound like a good move? And I said, yeah, actually, I said you have to have a lot of skills to be a plant manager. One of them is being able to get the most out of people, to inspire people. And, you got to get that number 3 people with 2 years experience. You got to get that number out to 10, 15, and 20. And that'll definitely help with management experience. The question when you're looking at jobs is, what's going to make your resume look better 5 years from now? So like I said earlier, more of the same role of being successful, more examples of being successful, but still just 3 people doesn't make your resume look better. You add production experience to that, you add more people to that, add more time, more failures, more lessons learned, along the way, and all of a sudden the resume starts to look better. Even if it's a lateral move, if you go from a maintenance role with 3 people directly report and say your budget's $250,000 a year, going directly into production, the mirror image of that role, that's actually beneficial. It's another line item. It's more experience. But, I would think that would be a positive move. And as you're looking at that job and interviewing for that job, you may say, gosh, that sounds like a step sideways, or maybe even a step back for you. But with that new company, what does the next job and the job after that look like? Do you have clear vision to the next 2 moves? That's what's important when you take an assignment, the next 2 moves. So often people say, well, gosh, say they're making $100,000 a year just for fun, and they got 3 direct reports. Why would I take a job making $95,000 a year with 3 direct reports? Why would I do that? Well, maybe the $95,000 job, they see potential in you. They said, hey, in a year, we expect you to take over this department, and then 3 years from now, this department, and we've got a clear path for you to be a plant manager. We have 200 plants, where the first scenario, they may have only have 3 plants and don't have any vision for you at all, but they pay you pretty well. So are you going to be standing there with those golden handcuffs in your current role, or are you going to look past your current compensation, your current role, and to look at what's best for you 1, 2, 3, 5 years in the future? It could be that lateral move or even a step back, if that makes sense. Let's see. More time, in a role that you've mastered is you're wasting your time. You're 32, you're trying to get to be a plant manager. Maybe you have aspirations past that, maybe multi-plant manager, maybe vice president. You've got to be in roles where you're learning and growing. You'd like to have a boss that is coaching and teaching you new skills, new tricks, new insights to how they manage. Being 32 and stuck is a crime, especially if you have aspirations. Let's see. You need to show competence in several areas. Look at the next two roles. Look for a company that sees you as the future, not just, hey, I'm a maintenance manager or you're a production manager. They see you as, I've got the next three moves charted out for you. Here's what my vision looks like for you. You've got that skill set, and you're challenging them to lay out that plan. And if they can't lay out a plan, where they can, advance you one, two, three moves in the future, it's time to, check your options elsewhere. Steve Jobs had a quote, and I added this at the end. You cannot see how all the dots will be connected in the future. All the assignments you had, all the experiences you had are getting now. You can't see that, how it's going to play out in the future. You can't say, oh, here's how I'm going to be plant manager. I need to do these 10 things. No, you just go to the next opportunity where you're growing, you're learning, you're stretching, you're learning a new skill set. And then 10 years from now, when you look in the rearview mirror, that path looks perfect. The things you learned in maintenance, the things you learned in production, a small maintenance job, a large maintenance job, a small production job, a large production job, an engineering job, whatever it may be. The dots of your career path only make sense looking in the rearview mirror. You can't see how it's all going to connect in the future, but it will. It will. It's great. So, hey, this is Joe Kuhn of Lean Driven Reliability. If you need a coach, you need a mentor, you need a consultant, check out one of the links below. This is Joe out.